I've got a quick favour to ask you before we get going today. You may have noticed that Love in Life has always been completely ad-free, and I would really love to keep it that way. So instead of adding sponsors and ads, I have set up a super easy way for you to support the show for less than one Starbucks a month. As a thank you, you'll also get my Monday morning pep talk, a short exclusive audio drop every Monday morning to give you a bit of inspiration for the week ahead. Sometimes it will be a little energy reset or a bit of a motivation boost. It's such a small way to give back, but it makes such a difference to me. And it just means that I can keep pouring my heart and soul into this podcast for you. Before we go into today's episode, I just want to thank the first of you who have already generously signed up. It means so much. So whether you just want to support the show and thank me, or maybe you want a bit of Monday morning Lisa talk, you can either click on the link in the show notes, or if you listen on Apple, you can simply click on one of the episodes that already has a little padlock on it. Thank you so much. Now let's get on with today's episode. Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. I'm your host, Lisa. I'm a mindset and energy coach, and each week you'll discover mindset shifts, energy practices, and real life tools to help you feel more confident, calm, and in flow, because you deserve to love the life you're creating. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's get going on today's episode. Welcome back to Love in Life. Today is Halloween. So today's episode is all about Halloween, where it came from. We're looking at the energy of Halloween and what a perfect time to do it. And it's very relevant today because it was like a scene from The Exorcist when we woke up this morning. Craig went in the living room first, which is where Rufus sleeps, in his crate. And he came out of the room and he's like, it is carnage in there. So I went in, and I'm sorry if you're eating or if you've got a weak stomach, but there was sick and shit everywhere. So that's been an interesting morning. We've been cleaning up that. I mean, we've been doing that a lot this week anyway. Something has really irritated his tummy this week. So this week has been very much about taking him out, hoping that he'll poo outside, and being sick outside. And when he doesn't, cleaning it up. So yeah, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Right, before we go any further, I just want to take a look and see where the highest amount of downloads was last week. And that was St. Louis in Missouri. So I just realised that I say it in a very excited way. St. Louis in Missouri, like I'm presenting an award. But well done to you guys for having the highest amount of downloads. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I hope you're here with me again this week. Keep sharing, keep listening, and keep telling me how it's helping. I love it. So what else do I need to go through before we get going with today's episode? The magic. If you want to do the magic with me, we are actually starting tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah. Saturday, the 1st of November, depending on what day you're listening to this. But yeah, we're starting on the 1st of November. We're doing it in WhatsApp this time because, you know, I am trying to get away from Facebook because I hate it. I've got to be honest, I hate it. So you might see me being less active in the Facebook group if you're in it. I am more active on Instagram. For some reason, I just have a much better relationship with Instagram than I do with Facebook. So yeah, we're doing the magic on WhatsApp, which I know suits some people, not everybody. But if you want to join us, then I would love you to. The link to join the WhatsApp group is in the show notes. And I know a few people have had problems joining the WhatsApp group. If you have, just drop me an email with your number and I can add you to the WhatsApp group. And lastly, before we get going, thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed to the paid subscription of the podcast. just quickly, I know it's at the beginning, you've already heard this, but I've done this for free for 3 years. And yeah, I am ready to level the F up. So I'd love you to be a part of that. And you could be a part of that by constantly sharing any of my content in your stories. You can help me. You can be a part of my leveling up by joining the paid subscription. Like, just by doing that, it tells Apple that people are listening, people are engaged. And yeah, let's just spread the positivity, which is my favourite thing to do, as you know. Right, so Halloween, where did it come from? So Halloween originated from the Celtic New Year known as Samhain. I think that's how you say it. I'm sure there will be people who are very much into this kind of thing that will probably correct me if I've said that wrong. It's spelt Samhain, but it's said Samhain. And Samhain is 1/8 of the wheel of the year. So I'll go into what Samhain means in a little bit deeper in a little while, but basically over time, as Christianity spread, Samhain blended into All Hallows Eve and eventually into Halloween. So in a way, Halloween still carries traces of that symbolism, transformation, mystery, honouring what has passed and stepping into a new season. And I think that's why so many of us feel something special in the air at this time, even if we don't consciously know the origins of what we are celebrating. There's a shift, there's a stillness, there's a transition. So today I want to explore how we can embrace both the fun, playful, colourful energy of Halloween and the deeper, reflective, intuitive energy of Samhain. Because we don't have to choose, we can celebrate both, and we can enjoy the costumes, the candles, but also honour what the season represents, which is releasing, resting, and trusting the quiet moments where new beginnings stem from. So Halloween, as we know it today, is a blend of ancient Celtic traditions with a Christian influence but with modern customs. But the word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve. So the night before All Saints' Day, which is November the 1st, so tomorrow. And this is a Christian holiday created to honour saints and martyrs. But like I said, as Christianity spread through Europe and many pagan customs were started to become absorbed or reinterpreted, Samhain, which is the Celtic New Year, which is celebrated at the right time, it just became part of that. Most people know Halloween now as pumpkins, sweets, scary films, and I love all of that. I love decorating. I love the cozy, playful side of it, and I love that it brings this sense of magic and imagination into the world. But before Halloween became what it is today, it began as Samhain. And this is, like I said, an ancient Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. So that is why it's known as the Celtic New Year. I've gone into the Wheel of the Year in one of my earlier episodes where I had one of my friends, Mel Gillespie, on the podcast, and she celebrates the Celtic Wheel of the Year, the pagan Wheel of the Year. And so if you want to go back and understand more about that, then go back to that episode. But Samhain is 1/8 of that. And this happens to be this time of year. And it marks the end of the harvest season and the start of winter. It's celebrated on October the 31st, from sunset on October the 31st to sunset on November the 1st. So for 24 hours. Oh, and this is just in the Northern Hemisphere. So if you are in Australia, which a growing number of you are, then I don't really know, to be honest. You'll have to let me know. If you tie that into the energy of the seasons, at the moment, nature is starting to die back. The leaves are falling. The air is day by day getting cooler and cooler. The nights are getting longer, and it's a time of darkness. It's a time of endings. It's a time of stillness where new beginnings are forming in the darkness. Now, the spiritual significance of Samhain is that the veil between the two worlds, so the physical and the spiritual, is believed to be at its thinnest, making this a really powerful time for intuition, connecting with ancestors and connecting with the divine. And of course, back in the day, people were scared of that. It's only in more recent years that it's become more acceptable and less scary, I guess, to connect with the spiritual, to connect with the other side, the afterlife, I guess, the spiritual realm. But Samhain honours the cycle of life, death and rebirth. So people traditionally lit candles or bonfires to guide spirits home and keep away unwanted energies. So this is where the spookiness has crept in. The scary masks, the scary costumes. People didn't actually want to welcome in those energies, so they tried to scare them away. Samhain is a time for reflection. It's a time for honouring ancestors. It's a time for letting go of the old to make space for the new. It's nature's invitation to slow down. We all need to slow down. Just as the trees let go of their leaves, we are invited to let go of what no longer serves us. And I've been talking a lot recently about transitions, about, saying goodbye to summer, slowing down and navigating what it means to have a new season of even of motherhood, as the boys get older and they get more independent. And I know a lot of you are going through this transition as well, or a similar transition, whatever that is. And Samhain fits into this so perfectly because it's a reminder that letting go, it's not loss, it's part of the cycle, of this sacred cycle. And when the seasons change, nature doesn't mourn the leaves falling off or trying to cling on to summer warmth like I was. It trusts the cycle. It knows that by letting go, the process is going to begin again when it's ready. It's creating space for whatever is next. And so that is something that I've been feeling too. It's something that I've been really embracing in these last few weeks since it's come to my attention how I was feeling. So instead of clinging on to what was long summer evenings, the boys being small, and that phase of life where everything felt familiar, I'm learning to welcome what comes next, whatever that is. And that these transitions can be bittersweet. There's gratitude for what we had, but also a little ache for what we know is shifting. But this festival, this season, Samhain, teaches us that endings aren't empty. They are a pause that makes space for the next chapter to take shape. So if you're in a season of change, whether that's family shifting, whether that's your identity evolving, because I think we all go through that identity change around a certain stage of life as well. Relationships, work, or just feeling like you're stepping into a new version of yourself. This is your reminder that letting go, it's not losing, it's honouring what was, it's trusting what is still becoming, what you're allowing to become. So there are a few rituals and reflection practices that fit really nicely into Samhain or Halloween, whatever energy you want to identify with. So this is a really nice time to light a candle in memory of any ancestors or loved ones who have passed. Even if you haven't, if you've been lucky enough not to lose anybody super close to you, we've all got ancestors who we are all linked to, who look over us. Now is a really nice time to connect with them and thank them for looking after us, for being there, looking over us. It's also a nice time to write a list of things that you're ready to release. What are you ready to let go of from this year, from this period of your life, whatever that is? So whether that's fears, habits, old beliefs. And when you do, burn it safely with gratitude. Thank it for serving you, keeping you safe at the time. But you're ready to release it and let go. Some journaling prompts that we can use, and I will put these in the show notes. But what am I ready to let go of? What wisdom do I carry from the challenges of this year? And what seeds of intention do I want to plant for the months ahead? You can pull an oracle card or a tarot card. And I always used to think that you had to be, I don't know, before I was into this kind of thing, I always thought you had to be shown how to do this. But honestly, anybody can do this. In fact, let's do one now. I feel called to do one now with you. So I've just picked a deck that I'm going to use today, and I'm just going to give them a shuffle. And I'm not very good at shuffling, but I'm going to invite my intuition, invite my guides, anybody who looks after me, to guide me to picking something that the whole collective needs to hear, what we all need to hear this week. Okay, so this is going to serve us for this week. And I'm just going to pick a card that I'm being called to pick. It's as simple as that. And wow, how mad is this? I've never picked out this card before. I've just picked out the Grail Fairy, which is all about fertility, the return of life, health and life cycles, which seems very, very relevant to what we are talking about. So let me just have a look and see what it says in my book about that. And this is from a fairy oracle deck. So it's all about fairies and their energies and what they are trying to show us. So this says, and I'll just go through this like super quickly rather than reading it all out. So on this card is a fairy bathing in the pool of the moon and holding up her magical chalice of life to collect the enchanted water which will soon be raining on you. So to me that means the newness that it will come through. She sprinkles it on what seems to be dead and dry and beyond life and renew the dormant life force within them. She honours the turning of the wheel of life and the cycles through which we all move. She does this knowing that this will bring forth creative ideas, artworks, dreams, love and partnerships to be cleansed and renewed. She's all about holding, receiving, growing and allowing in love, fertility, energy and the life force itself. That seems very relevant to what we are talking about this time of year, about allowing things to rest, knowing that new will come in. Okay. And then finally, another thing we can do to honour the energy at this time of the year is to meditate on the darkness. And when I say the darkness, I don't mean the physical darkness, but the darkness that is dying, the things that are leaving. Visualize it not as emptiness, but as a space where transformation begins. So just allow that to create space. So just to wrap up, Samhain, Halloween, reminds us that letting go isn't loss, it's part of a cycle. Just like nature, we can't always be in bloom. We have to rest, we have to release, and we have to reflect to allow us to grow and have the energy when spring comes. So if you've been feeling any resistance, any tiredness lately, then maybe this is your cue to stop pushing and start trusting. Trust the pause, trust the slowing down, embrace the slowing down, trust the darkness, because this is where new light is born. Thank you for joining me today. I would love you to tag me in any of these rituals or reflections that you do. If you could tag me in your stories or your posts, that would be amazing. And so as I can share them and inspire other people. I will also share a few things that I'm doing later, although I will have a house full of 16-year-olds again later on today. Why do I do it? Why do I do it? Anyway, it's not going to be forever. This is one of those things that it's part of this stage of life, the teen years. I want to embrace that because it's not going to be here forever. So as I prepare for tonight's Halloween party, I send you so many good wishes and so much love. Allow the energy to inspire you to create, if that's what you feel called to do, but also to rest. Those are the two things that I plan on weaving in: creation and rest for the next few weeks. Okay, I love you, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and if you're listening on Apple, as 95% of you do, review. It really helps the podcast reach more people who are ready to shift their mindset and raise their vibration. And if you know someone who would benefit from today's episode, feel free to share it with them. Until next time, keep loving life and know that I'm sending you so much love. Just before we go, if you've been listening for a while, then you'll know that every year I do the magic. The magic is a 28-day gratitude process that literally helps you live your life in a state of gratitude, raising your vibration, making you become more magnetic to your desires. So this year I am starting the magic on the 1st of November. And for those who would like to join me, I have set up a WhatsApp community where we can share our experiences. I will read out the pages for the day if you haven't got the book. And if you're anything like me, you can always mute the WhatsApp group so you're not getting the notifications buzzing all the time. I'd love to see you over there with me. Check the link in the show notes and come on over.